Good morning, students. Last time we have done this change of state of matter on the basis of pressure. Now I am taking it again for reminding you it. For changing pressure, what we have done, we have taken the example that may by increasing or by decreasing the pressure we can change the state of matter. I am taking two examples from our daily life to show you this. First is by increasing pressure. As you see in daily life, when we put a container on gas stove or heat it, we put some liquidy material here. It can be food, water, milk, anything. Then what happens? When it gets heated, it starts to boil and its vapor starts to come out. This time these vapors are in gas state because they are feeling only atmospheric pressure on them. Now if you will put a cover on it, then what will happen? More particles of atmospheric gases put pressure on this cover. That means the particles coming from this liquid, they can't go outside because they are feeling pressure due to this cover. So you see that they condense on this container cover. How it happened? This gas converts into liquid state when we put cover on it. This cover increases increases pressure on these gas molecules. So this way in daily life you see that by increasing pressure we change the state of matter in our home. Second one is by decreasing pressure. What happened? I discussed it before that we liquefy these gases, we convert these gases and then put in container. For example, CNG, LPG, etc. Today I am taking one more example from your daily life. For example, your perfume. When you take a perfume bottle, it is little bit heavy when it is new because in this perfume particles are liquefied and filled in it. Now what happened? It is closed from so pressure is applied on it. When I press this, then what happened? Its particles come out. And when these particles come out in atmosphere, the pressure on them decreases and this liquid converts into gas state. Suddenly it disappears because liquid converts into gas here when pressure is decreased. When we go on mountains, then what happens? Atmospheric pressure here less and on bottom it is more. So when we want to boil water here, then what will happen? If I will put container here and put water, then after heating what happen? These particles start converting into gas. These will convert into gas when these particles hover in atmosphere creating pressure on it and they get more energy and go higher. But on top of mountain what happen? When we boil some liquid, atmospheric gases are less to exert pressure on it. Here pressure decreases and these particles quickly convert into gas. So as we take boiling point of water, then boiling point of water is more at grounds and less at top of the mountain. See, simply it is 100 degrees Celsius taken. Now at ground, by increasing pressure, by increasing more pressure, we can change this boiling point to 102, 103 degrees Celsius this way. And on mountains, when atmospheric pressure is less, then this boiling point decreased from 100 degree to 99, 98 or lower than this. So, boiling point of water is less than 100 degree Celsius when pressure is less, and boiling point of water becomes more than 100 when pressure is more. Now, I am going to start the next part of change of state of matter by changing temperature. Here also we have to increase or decrease the temperature. When we will increase temperature, then solid convert into liquid and liquid convert into gas. When we will decrease temperature, then gas convert into liquid, liquid convert into solid. So before discussing these, first we are taking temperature scales. Temperature scales are important because when we have to measure the temperature on thermometer, then how we read them and how we convert them from one scale to another, it is important. There are mainly three types of temperature scales. One is Celsius, second one is Fahrenheit, third one is Kelvin. These are temperature scales. Celsius was given by Anders Celsius, Fahrenheit was given by Fahrenheit, and Kelvin was given by Kelvin. And according to that person names, these scales named. And what units we use here to write this temperature? For Celsius scale, we are writing degrees Celsius. Here degree is important. In Fahrenheit scale, we are writing degree Fahrenheit. And in Kelvin, we are not using degree. If you will use degree here, your marks will cut because degree is not used in unit of Kelvin. Now, what is the relationship between these? Because we have to convert one scale temperature into another. So, Kelvin is most important because Kelvin is SI unit of temperature. Why it is important? I will discuss here again. Celsius and Fahrenheit you have seen when doctors measure your temperature or you see, then it is in degree Fahrenheit simply. If doctor is saying your temperature is near 37 degrees Celsius, it can be more than that, it can be lower than that. Then that means he is measuring temperature in Celsius. 37 degrees Celsius, it is our human body normal body temperature. If doctors say it is in 98, 99, 100, 101 etc., then it is in according to Fahrenheit scale. That means it is measured in Fahrenheit scale. And in Kelvin, we are not checking our temperature, but we can convert it, that I will tell you later. Kelvin is used in laboratories mostly. So, these are the human body temperatures at Celsius and Fahrenheit scale. In lower classes also you have done this, how to convert Celsius into Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit into Celsius. 0 degree Celsius is always equal to 273 Kelvin. 273 Kelvin. In some books you can find it as 273.15 or 273.16 Kelvin. Now, these are the exact values. Here what we do? We round off these values. Neglect these and take the proper value. So, I am taking here 273. In calculations, we use 273 Kelvin. So, let's see. 0 degree Celsius is equal to 273 Kelvin. That means when on Celsius scale temperature is taken as 0, then on Kelvin scale its value is 273. That means if on Celsius scale it is 1 degree Celsius, then on Kelvin scale what will happen? 273 plus degree Celsius we will add here, and what will come? 273 plus 1 is equal to 274 Kelvin. Here 1 degree Celsius is equal to 274 Kelvin. So, if temperature is given on Celsius scale and we have to convert it in Kelvin scale, then what will we do? We will simply add 273 in the value of Celsius, and this temperature will convert into Kelvin. So, from here relation comes in Celsius and Kelvin scale. What is the relationship between Celsius and Kelvin? Degree Celsius plus 273. Degree Celsius plus 273 becomes Kelvin. For example, 2 degrees Celsius, if I have to convert it into Kelvin, then what will I do? I will simply add 273 here, and Kelvin value will become 275. Now I am giving you some questions on basis of this. You have to convert degree Celsius into Kelvin. First is 0 degree Celsius. That is the freezing point of water. Second part is 25 degrees Celsius. This is the room temperature. You have to convert into Kelvin. Third one is 100 degree Celsius. This is the boiling point of water. And fourth one is 37 degrees Celsius. This is our body temperature, normal body temperature of a human being. So you have to convert these 4 temperatures from Celsius scale to Kelvin scale. And tomorrow I will discuss how to convert Kelvin into Celsius. So do this work in your rough notebook and try to find out the answer.